Good evening. The high-speed railway connecting Birmingham to Crewe will open 6 years ahead of schedule. George Osborne visited the Jaguar Land Rover plant in Wolverhampton today, where he confirmed that the HS2 line will go ahead in 2027. BBC WM's political reporter Rob Mayer has been looking at what the announcement means for our region.
The farm will absolutely be destroyed. It breaks my heart to think that we've worked our guts out to get this.
Farmer Jim Prinold has spent his entire working life building a business to pass on to his children. This morning he woke up to the news the proposed HS2 line between Birmingham and Crewe will be brought forward by 6 years. The route cuts straight through his farmyard.
My life work's been utterly happy until I was 73 years ago. And then this plot, and then this morning's put the top hat on it. I'm almost suicidal today.
So what's the key? What bit of the assembly? This looks like it's quite close to completion.
The Chancellor meeting apprentices at Jaguar Land Rover this morning, a symbol, he says, of the improving economy, which means he's got the spare cash to build the line by 2027.
Because as a country we're saving money in the day-to-day costs of government, we can make long-term investments, and that includes the confirmation that the high-speed line is going to go ahead to Crewe and get there 6 years early. Now that's a huge boost for local jobs, huge boost for local investment, and also great news for travellers.
HS2 might be good news for passengers and business, but here in the Staffordshire village of Marston, it's come as a shock. They knew that high-speed rail would be coming one day, but today's announcement means they'll have to change their plans.
Lots of people thought that obviously they're a bit older, and 20 years down the road they thought they weren't going to be here. But if this thing is going to be here in 2026, then they're certainly going to be around, and it's certainly going to be a massive issue for them.
This development is still a long way off, but has hit the community hard. And with the news still sinking in, the question now is, will they fight against it? Rob Mayer, BBC Midlands Today in Marston.
We're sitting here in the studio, and I'm sure for many of you sitting at home, it's hard to visualise the impact HS2 is going to have. So we've got our transport correspondent, Peter Plisner, on the case. Help us out here and take us through the route, Peter.
Yes, Nick, it's a 43-mile section of the planned HS2 route running between Birmingham and Crewe. The famous railway town was chosen over Stoke-on-Trent because it's a key staging post in the high-speed route to Manchester. As we know, improving transport links with the north of England is a key government policy, but it's also pretty controversial. The bill for the first stage of HS2 from London to Birmingham is still working its way through Parliament, and royal assent isn't expected for at least another year. Today, difficult questions continue to be asked. This one from Stoke-on-Trent Central MP Tristan Hunt.
Today marks a sad day for Stoke-on-Trent as our campaign for a stop in Stoke for the second phase of High Speed 2 hits the buffers. High-speed train lines work for the country when they focus on growing the economies of regional and second-tier cities as much as major metropolises. In Britain, Stoke-on-Trent will be the litmus test for the success of such a strategy, and we'll be watching it closely.
Stoke-on-Trent isn't the only place to be disappointed today. Many of those living and working along the route to Crewe weren't expecting it to happen so quickly. As we saw in Rob's report, some didn't expect it to happen in their lifetimes. Today, HS2 suddenly feels a lot more real.
Certainly does. Peter, thank you. Well, as you gather, the news has been a blow for Stoke-on-Trent, and Laura May McMullen's been finding out exactly what they're saying there.
There were high hopes for a high-speed rail link in Stoke-on-Trent. This was the proposed site at Etruria, running alongside the West Coast Main Line. Today's announcement puts an end to any realistic hope of having a stop here in the city. And it was a bid that cost the taxpayers of Stoke-on-Trent more than £800,000.
£800,000 could have helped a lot more people around here rather than putting a bid for something that they probably had an idea they wouldn't win anyway. So why was the point of wasting all that money?
It's a shame that we're not getting, the stop that we really deserve.
Could have brought a lot of business to the area, and whether you like it or not, Stoke-on-Trent is a deprived area. We needed that business.
In a statement, Stoke-on-Trent City Council says the government is aware of the city's incredible growth potential, and connecting Stoke to HS2 would generate an extra £5 billion of economic growth over the next 60 years, and ongoing talks are now taking place. Despite the snub, George Osborne has said that Stoke will benefit from having a stop at Crewe 15 miles away. A deal was done last month between North Staffordshire and Cheshire to ensure tens of thousands of new jobs and homes come to the area. Laura May McMullen, BBC Midlands Today, Stoke-on-Trent.